Let's be clear. Canada is not in a recession, Mr. Speaker. I could have said per capita, the GDP has increased in the first quarter, but I won't say that. I also said that financial markets have completely sidestepped that message. There's absolutely no agitation of financial markets on this front. But what I can say is that the Canadian economy is directly impacted by the trade war, directly impacted by the war in the Middle East. The costs of fuel are very high. Investment is down because of the uncertainty. The honourable member.
The honourable member. How can the Parliamentary Secretary say something that simply does not reflect the truth? Are my colleagues aware of Statistics Canada? It's a Government of Canada agency, and they are saying that Canada is the only G7 country that is in a recession at a time when all G7 countries are facing the same challenges. But Canada is the only country that is in a recession. How can the Parliamentary Secretary say the opposite of the truth? Canadians are tired of this type of lie. The member for Louise Saint-Laurent-Akiawenrock knows very well that we cannot use the word lie in this House. We cannot say that another member's words were a lie. I would remind the member of this. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, please.
Order. What is this? It's Friday. From the top. Monsieur le Président, I believe this is straight harassment from that side. It is trying to shut me up. It is trying to shut me up. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. We're supposed to be able to.
I'm going to interrupt the Parliamentary Secretary. The Parliamentary Secretary is a veteran member of two houses. He understands that it speaks through the Speaker, through the Chair, not to address members directly. I will let the Parliamentary Secretary order. I will let the Parliamentary Secretary start from 20 seconds and finish his response.
Monsieur le Président, je répète encore une fois, le Canada n'est pas.
Mr. Speaker, I will repeat once more that Canada is not in a recession. That is not what Statistics Canada said. There is no agitation but our economy is under threat from the tariffs. We are the only G7 country next to the U.S., and we depend on trade with the U.S. That is the issue, but we have a plan. The Honourable Member for Beauce. Mr. Speaker, this morning we learned that Canada is the only G7 country in a recession. But despite this, a lot that was originally rented for $13,000 a year was then sublet to the federal government for $20 million a year. So it went from $13,000 to $20 million. And they've thrown hundreds of millions of dollars into the garbage. Can this government stop wasting Canadians' money? The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary. Having a sovereign space launch capacity in Canada, Mr. Speaker, will enable us to have more well-paid jobs, strengthen our sovereignty, and reduce our dependence on the U.S. We will be able to support our commercial space launch and reentry capacity. This can represent up to $40 billion. That is what we are investing in. These are essential capacities that protect Canada and will lead to very large economic benefits for Canada.
Mr. Speaker, the Victoria Cross is the highest military honour Canada awards for acts of extraordinary valour. It was created in 1993, yet has never been awarded. Constituents in my riding are calling for an independent review of military decorations from the Afghanistan mission. The time for action is now. Mr. Speaker, can the Parliamentary Secretary for the Minister of National Defence inform this House how the government is committed to a fair and transparent process to honour the valour of our veterans?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary, Minister of National Defence.
Mr. Speaker, honouring bravery and sacrifice in service to Canada is among our government's most solemn responsibilities. We are profoundly grateful to all those who have served and who continue to serve our country. Military honours, including Canada's Victoria Cross, are subject to a thorough and rigorous review process by the Canadian Armed Forces. I can confirm that the government agrees to the establishment of an independent military honours review board to review Afghanistan veteran cases where new evidence may suggest that the criteria for the Victoria Cross may have been met. I look forward to providing further updates to this House in due course. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Thornhill.
The Liberal government spent years ignoring and enabling anti-Semitism in Canada. Now we're watching the consequences unfold in real time. In a single week in this country, effigies were hung in Montreal, of Jews were hung in Montreal in the streets while genocidal slogans were chanted. The government-funded organizations openly discussed a Jew-free Canada, and posters of